Hey everybody, Eric and Lonna here. Eric is going to zoom in on a sign right now. And this sign, which I need to go now, there's a car coming, but we'll get it on the way. We're going to turn around and get it coming back. It says Next Gen, NEXGEN 5000. And we have noticed these signs with different numbers popping up in front of crop fields around our county. Now you say, okay, why are you doing a video on this? Well, you know, I did the $10 conspiracy. Well, this one I think everybody in the whole United States might want to pay attention to. We're waiting for traffic to go by because we're going to go back past a different crop field with a different number, and then I'm going to tell you what website to go look to find out what all this is all about. Now basically we saw these signs come up, and I said, what does that mean? I was like, does that mean a corporation has bought the crop fields? And Eric's like, you know, probably so. So we went home and we tried to just pull up, you know, Next Gen, NEXGEN, and couldn't find anything. And then finally Eric pulled up Next Gen 5711. Can you get it? There's cars behind me.
I got it.
You got it? Okay. So this is a different crop field. Okay. So the thing is, here's another one right here. The thing is, there's a website that stated, now you read the website. I just glanced at it.
Well, basically what it says is that Next Gen is a corporation that they make seeds. It's a type of seed, you know, like Coca-Cola is a type of soda. Well, Next Gen is a type of seed, and in this seed they are genetically engineered seeds. They put herbicides, pesticides, all these different chemicals in the seeds themselves
so that bugs will not eat it.
So what it means is that the bottom line is, you think you're getting organic stuff. You know, Trader Joe's and all these places, they sell organic stuff. You pay extra for organic vegetables and fruits. But what it shows is that there is no such thing as organic anymore, meaning all natural. Because even if they grow it with seeds, they put them in the ground and they grow the crop, the vegetable or the fruit or whatever it is, even those are genetically engineered. Because the pesticides, they used to spray pesticides and all that stuff on these plants to keep the bugs off and so there'd be more growth, but then you got those chemicals that you end up eating. Well, now they put those chemicals right there in the seeds called Next Gen, so that you save money on having to spray them. But what people don't realize is that even though they're growing things from seeds and not spraying them with chemicals, you know, they can advertise and say, oh, we didn't put any pesticides, we didn't put any chemicals on these plants, it's all natural. Well, they didn't tell you that they put them in the seeds already. And so you end up eating those chemicals, and I imagine it's even worse, because if you just spray chemicals on some plants, I mean, you might can wash them off. I don't know how all that works, but if you're spraying, if you actually have it in the seed, then those chemicals become part of the fruit that you eat. There's no spraying it off. I mean, it's embedded in the fruit or in the vegetable. And we see these Next Gen signs all over the place here in our county, as we live in farmland, and you'll see them just all over as you're driving around.
Now, it's not every single crop field. Now, you see right here.
This one doesn't have it.
This one doesn't have it. Now, some of them are still family owned. You'll know who didn't sell out. And then you see this dude right here, that he probably is the one that owns the crop field down there. Anyway, but the thing is, like Eric said, they're gonna say, oh, we didn't put any chemicals in it, we just modified the seed so that bugs won't eat it, it won't taste good, they won't, so we don't spend so much money on we won't have to use chemicals to keep bugs off and stuff. No, that means it's synthetic food. It's not real food. When you change the seed that God put in each and every fruit and vegetables and stuff, when you take that out and you modify it, it's no longer organic. God put those seeds in there so that you could take them out and plant them in the dirt again and they would grow again. That's the reason why God put those seeds in there. What's the verse in there that said that God self-yielding, what is it?
Well, when in Genesis 1 it talked about making the fruits and that bearing seed after its kind.
Yes. So, you know, just goes to show that man is messing things up again. They think they know better than God, and they wonder why people are getting all these cancers and diseases and stuff. It's because man thinks he knows better and decides, you know, I think I'm going to change the seed. And I think there's another one coming up here, one of those signs in front of a crop field. I'm going to change the seed, and we're going to sell it for the same price, but it's cheaper. That's another thing. The price of food, if they are making synthetic food, then the price of food should come down, period. That should be it. I mean, the price of food should be so cheap. It's unbelievable. But they're not going to do that. It's just man wanting to make a profit. But in the process, he's also going to kill a majority of the people, because people are going to be allergic to this food. In case in point, this made me mad, and I told Eric yesterday, and I'm going on a tirade, and I don't care if you don't like it, just click off. I don't care. I bought 2 apples. Number one, I made a mistake. I don't know what I was thinking, but I bought them from Walmart. I know, shame on me. But I bought them from Walmart. They were golden delicious, red delicious apples. You know, those dark red apples. They're sweet. They're good. So I bought 2 apples. They were big, beautiful, hard apples. I got busy. As those apples sat on my kitchen counter for at least over a week. Now, you know, back in the day, you bought an apple, it starts getting soft, it gets mushy, it starts looking like it's been, it's just dying. It's just like any other fruit back in the day. After so many days, it starts to turn bad. You got to eat them real quick. Well, I noticed the apple was still hard. I mean, extremely hard. And it wasn't turning colors. And I bet if I opened it up, and I didn't, I should have opened it up. If I cut it up, I bet it probably wouldn't have turned brown. And I thought, this can't even be real apples. These apples are not even going bad. So, I thought to myself, this has got to be one of those synthetic, chemically engineered apples. And I thought, I ain't putting that in my body. I threw them away. I know I wasted money. But you know what? That made me so mad. I was, if you're going to make synthetic food, tell people, we're making synthetic food. We're doing this so that we won't spend so much money, but there might be a chance you might get cancer. Just like the stupid pills they put out. Oh, this pill will cure you of psoriasis, but you'll get a brain tumor, throw up, and have diarrhea. diarrhea is the #1 on all that anyway. But you know, tell us, give people the option. I guarantee you they ain't gonna eat it, but they don't want to tell you the options because they know good and well you're gonna have a hissy fit. But those were 2 crop fails. There's more. I think, is there one coming down this way?
I don't know.
I can't. Yeah, there is. There is one. I'm gonna keep talking just to irritate people. Anyway, so
one thing I like to mention is that it's the way they're doing it is it makes you think that you're getting healthy organic food when you're not. It's sort of like what they do in baseball. You know, they had the steroid epidemic of Barry Bonds and Sammy Sosa, Mark McGwire. Well, you look at baseball today, there are more home runs hit today than there was back then. The players are bigger now than they were back then. But you don't hear them talking about steroids. See, what they did was they said they defined certain drugs as steroids and others are not. So what they do then is if you ever say, oh, all those players are on steroids, then they'll say, oh, no, they're not. Here's a list of all these banned drugs. They can't take any of those. If they take them, they're going to be fined. They're going to be suspended. They'll be thrown out of baseball. We, as the Major League Baseball, make sure that there are no steroid players out there. Well, then what they don't tell you is that there are other steroid drugs that they allow them to take. And that's why they're still big. So they're still on steroids, but they have the appearance that they're not because they have this list of banned drugs. And that's what these seeds, this next gen stuff has done. It's before they were all in uproar about all the chemicals and things that they spray on these fruits and vegetables so that you end up getting these chemicals into you and you end up getting cancer as a result. So now what they'll do is they'll say, oh no, we don't spray anything on there. It's all natural, all organic. We just put the seed in there and then it crops up and we have the plant. Well, what they end up doing with these seeds, they're genetically engineered and they still have those pesticides and chemicals in there, but they're embedded in the seed. So now instead of the chemicals being on the fruit on the outside, they're actually in it. So you're guaranteed to eat the chemicals now, but they don't bother to tell you and they make you think that it's organic and it's okay when it's really not. So so it's just like with baseball. You think, oh, they're not taking steroids, but they're taking them more. Here's another sign.
Here's a sign. I can slow down on this one. Nobody behind us. This one is 4601. Next Gen 4601. Now, if you want to go to the website, and I suggest everybody go to the website. It's Next Gen NEX, and you see the crop. I think that's soybeans. I think that's soybeans. If you want to go to the web, there it is again. If you want to go to, and hey, I suggest everybody go and look at this. Send it to all your friends, your family. Gotta go, cars. All your friends and family. Tell them to read it. This is what they're going to be putting in their body. Next Gen, NEX, no T, NEXGEN, and put 5711. That's going to pull up the website because we had to play with it to find it. We just put in Next Gen. You know, next gen food, next gen crops, next gen everything. We couldn't get anything to come up. And then Eric finally put in one of the numbers off of the sign. And it came up. Next Gen 5711. Just put that in. And you'll pull it up and you will read. They're like trying to make it sound so wonderful. It's so wonderful. We don't have pesticides on our food anymore. We've invented a seed that will deter bugs, pests, and maybe even keep deer from
There's another one up here.
Yeah, here's another one. So send it to everybody. Everybody that claims to be healthy, eat organic. There's another 4601. Just send it to everybody. Let's get it out because I do think that is soybeans. So your soybeans, I think that's soybeans. Your soybeans are now no longer organic. they're synthetic. So
I think that number is the number of the seed.
yeah.
So they're using NextGen 4601 as the brand number, and that equates to that soybean seed.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if, because I really didn't look at the crop. I think all the ones that we've been looking at have been soybeans. So I don't know, maybe they're testing out different seeds to see how they do. It's still soybeans, but they're testing out, okay, well, we put this seed in the ground and it has this, we modified it this much. We put this one in and we modified it this much. This one we added a little something extra in this one. Let's see what if they all grow, how long they grow, what they taste like, you know, and go from there. And I bet you anything that's probably it. But anyway, let's send this out. Send this out to everybody. I want it to be on national news. Why are we having synthetic seeds for crop seeds? And you know, they got people today so just, what's the word I'm looking for?
Acclimated, used to it.
No, well,
indifferent.
It's almost like that. It's almost like bamboozled. Anyway, you got people today. There's a sign over there. I don't know what that number is.
That's a different one.
Is a different number? Oh, that is a different one. That's got a P on it, a letter P before it. Anyway, didn't even see that one before. Let's get it out there. I'd love for it to be on that. Of course, you know, it's liberal media. They probably are in on it. They'll probably be paid by the big corporation NextGen to not put it on the news, because then everybody would be in uproar. But anyway, people have been so. I think it was a couple of years ago, I told people that it was synthetic food, and they go, "Oh no, it's organic." And I said, they're not bruised anymore. You can't tell. I said, you used to tell if it's real or not if the food bruised. Oh no, that meant it was bad. It had mold in it. And I looked at this person like, what the hey? Where'd you get that from? That's what they're being taught. That real food, if it starts turning brown, it starts, you know, getting smushy and stuff. They say that food was bad to begin with, that it must have had mold in it or something. I'm like, no, that meant it was a real seed. Okay, I'm tired.
Well, and also, this is the first year that we've seen these NextGen signs.
Yes.
We did not see them last year. We did not see them the year before. I don't know if they just started here in this area. Maybe California, they have a lot of agriculture there. They may have started there years earlier, or it may not be NextGen. It may be some other brand that's there, and they may not be putting the signs out like they're advertising here. I don't know, but at least here in Alabama, this is the first year where we've seen these signs. So it shows that it's getting more popular, and usually things start in California, so I imagine it probably they were using these genetically engineered seeds with pesticides and chemicals in them. They've probably been doing that for a few years already there, but now it has reached Alabama.
Well, and also, before we turn it off, I grew up, my grandmother tilled and had a garden. My grandmother would put 7 dust on her tomato leaves and stuff like that to keep the bugs from eating the leaves, you know. So whatever crop it was, 7 dust. That's the magic stuff right there. Of course, it's probably changed and it's no longer any good, but 7 dust. I grew up with that. I grew up eating vegetables from my grandmother's garden. I have yet to die yet from the chemical of 7 dust. So, you know, oh, you're putting these are bad, it's harmful for people and stuff. Yeah, but you allow these doctors to give shots to newborn babies, saying that they're giving them their little, you know, whatever, their monthly, yearly shots to help them. And you now have a bunch of kids that have autism. Go figure. It wasn't what they ate. It's what a doctor gave them. A shot. That had something in it. Okay? So, let's get this out. Let's get this out because it's not every cropland out here. It's, you know, just a few of them. So apparently some farmers are still keeping the land in their family. They're not being swayed to let this corporation buy their land. But of course, as farmers die off, the children don't want to mess with farming, and they sell the land to big corporations, and eventually the government's going to have everything. And there's also just one more thing. I know I keep saying one more thing. I'm sorry.
You're like a preacher.
I'm a preacher.
This and I'll close. And 20 minutes later, in closing.
A couple of years ago, they had it on the news, and then you didn't hear nothing more about it. The government, do you remember this, Eric? The government, they had on the news, the government has this big compound. It was a nuclear, where they held nuclear bombs, supposedly. It's huge, massive underground warehouse compound. And they have seeds of every plant, tree, everything. And it's one big, huge cooler. And I think it was it in Iowa? Idaho, somewhere. Anyway, and they are storing these seeds. And they said, and it's the government. And I couldn't believe they put it on the news. It was like national news. And they put it on the news saying that this is how, you know, something happened. This is how we'd be able to take care of, you know, everybody in the United States. We've been saving these seeds. We've got them in a cooler and this big compound under the ground. And it was on national news. Now, I'm not crazy. This was on national news.
I remember that.
You remember it? Okay. Okay, so if you think we're crazy, there's two crazy people then, you know.
Oh, they already know I'm crazy.
No, they're finding out now I am. But anyway, so the government is taking over the food. So just one step away from the Antichrist, because he's going to be controlling everything. So anyway, I'm done.